Guess we can raise our glasses or whatever we have.
Yes,
Glasses.
raise our glasses. All right.
And Royce. Oh, he's got a real shot. That's not fair.
Hold on.
It's 4:30 here. Like it's happy hour.
It's 5
not
o'clock somewhere.
play. Wait, no.
All right. You ready?
It's 5 a.m.
All right,
here.
Royce.
All right. Darren, 2 years of After the Bell, or 2 seasons and 1 full year of making
Right.
Arbitrage better.
For entertainment only. All right. This is not cheers. This is not vodka. This is by the way,
This
is
is not
about my
health
birthday.
advice.
This is good stuff.
Please consult a medical official. That was actually a birthday toast. I appreciate that there, Royce. And yes, I did just pass. Well, that was what, a month and a half ago. I passed a year here at Arbitrage Trade, and we've had fun. That's what we do here. So I am Darren with Arbitrage Trade, aka Birthday Boy, and this is After the Bell. It is actually for the first time really after the bell. I mean, it was usually we start an hour after the bell. This was like right after the bell. My guests in the top right are Daniel Hopwood, which is an ex-institutional wealth manager. We got Josh Morgan, aka JPM, aka JP Morgan, down in the bottom left. The banker, and in the bottom right, the best toaster of all time, and our CEO. And I don't have a new word for you though. Quanticus bestus. I don't know. I got to watch more Roadrunner. I guess I got to come up with something.
Yikes!
That's right.
You're Roman and go Quanticus Maximus.
That's right. That's right.
You're not entertained.
You must say yes. All right. So what a week it has been. We knew that it would be an eventful week. We have a new leader of the free world that will start next year. And so we have a lame duck everything, which we kind of have anyway. In fact, we've had that for many, many years because Congress is never 60-40. We talked about that this morning. You have the executive things that are orders that are put out the first day. And then after that, just, all right. So
Tell us how you really feel.
Markets. We're going to try not to get too much into politics. Markets, although we have to today, really, but markets did respond. And at close, the numbers are Dow Jones up 3.57%. These are just crazy numbers. Up 1,500 today at 43,700. We had the S&P. Didn't get to 6,000, but it's still a new all-time high at 59.29. And that's 146 or 2.53% increase. And then NASDAQ, aka the techs as well, just under 19. It looks like it did hit 19 actually, and but closed at 18,978. That is almost 3%. So 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%. Look how even that is. Each one's 0.5 higher than the other. Not like it was planned or programmed or anything. Just just happened to be that way.
It happens. It happens.
All right. So big picture is we got a new administration. New things could happen as a result of that. In fact, Daniel and I just talked earlier today about tariffs, et cetera, and how that can have a ripple effect throughout the globe. And what I did hear on CNBC this morning, sorry, I don't really want to plug them at all, but they were discussing the reactions from different countries, like the countries that were allies of Trump, and then maybe those that were not allies of Trump. And now they're all trying to be friendly again. And it's just back and forth. It just makes me sick. Just bow to the king, which is the U.S. and the almighty dollar.
And hey, didn't I tell you the dollar was going to pop?
The dollar has been dollar bill, y'all. It has definitely been that. And it's going to. That would be a good chart to do there, I guess, but we don't do that, right?
Well, we can talk about Bruno. We can talk about Bruno.
Okay, so Daniel, go ahead and throw us Mr. Facts, and you always bring facts and figures. So go ahead and bring us. You said something about since 1928, so it's been a while. 1928 was not really great years. That was depressionary years, right?
Yeah, Great Depression era.
So what did you bring us to, Daniel?
I don't remember. Oh wait, hold on. Is that this?
It was about an average of it was only up an average of 1% kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So since 1928, the S&P on the week of the election is up an average of 0.7%. It's the market is normally goes in a bullish direction upon election 63% of the time. So whether or not, Trump is the true catalyst to this, or it's just simply that we now kind of know, is potentially a bigger factor in why the way markets move. Now, given I just got up, so do correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think the more interesting thing is to see on this show, we've talked a little bit about the Trump versus Harris trade. And if you just look at top level markets, you can see the S&P really spiked to all-time highs, where the NASDAQ, for example, which, the Trump trade was kind of anti-big tech, has it went up. But if you look at, all the big tech companies, Apple, Meta, Google, they're not, at their all-time highs. So, they're not the ones leading this rally. It's the 493 or some mix of those that are probably having a healthy factor into it. But
and
the one tech
Tesla.
stock that is still ripping is NVIDIA, because they just replaced Intel in the Dow Jones. And they have just hit an all-time high again. And I would not be surprised if they are the most valuable company, publicly traded company in the world currently.
Tesla won't let that happen.
I was going to say Tesla, and they said Musk just got $15 billion richer from this election, basically.
Hey, as a shareholder at Tesla, I approve that message.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
My IRA loves that. Or I should say, loves that,
Yes. All right. Any other reactions there? We'll go to the banker. Any other reactions you want to say about maybe what this means, or if it's too? My personal opinion to throw in there is that you can't count what's happening through the rest of this week. Whatever the market's going to do is going to be starting next Monday. This is just
I'm
was
totally
this not
with you on that one.
fanfare?
This one's real. I mean, this whole market reaction is almost exclusively just removing uncertainty. And now we kind of, we have the answers. Like, we know we'll start to see what the true fallout once all of this is actually digested, and especially coming into the end of the year, and we'll have a little bit more kind of clarity as to how the market's actually going to react to this. Because right now, this is just, you got to think back about how this whole election has gone. All it has done is added uncertainty in some of the most bizarre ways that we've ever seen. And now finally, all of that crap is over. And so even just a knee-jerk reaction, everybody's like, oh, finally, we have an answer. We don't have to listen to all of these talking heads, like us, and just try to speculate about what all is going on. We actually we know now. And that, I think that is the 90% of what the reaction is right now, because it's not hitting, the Trump trade specific sectors. It's just, it's everything kind of shot up.
I do think there was going into the election, there was the thought that here we go, it's going to take 3 or 4 days. We could be counting by Friday. And what the media likes to call this is a relief rally, which is kind of basically what you were saying. And now that there is certainty who's going to be leading the world, then I do think it was planned to go up. That maybe they had planned this for later. Maybe start this little pump, because there might have been uncertainty, and they were going to count votes for days, and they were going to do this after that. But now it's happening now. And then they also plan for it to go down after that, which will probably happen next week now. So that's just my own 2 cents worth, or with inflation, $2 worth for what's going to happen now. Royce, yes. What do you think?
I was actually very surprised at this election cycle. I was looking at the number of voters, right? So the total number of voters that basically, as I saw last night, there was like 77 million for Trump and about 68 million for Kamala, right? There are 261 million people above the age of 18 that could possibly vote. So we're missing about 120 million plus voters. So I'm like, where are they? Why aren't they voting? What's going on? Could this election have been swayed in any other direction, or even been a tighter race? Just if people actually like, if they actually, say, hey, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, I'm going to actually go and vote for the other one. Could it have made a difference?
Kennedy was on some of the ballots.
Well,
They allowed him to be voted
Yeah,
for.
where's my RFK protest vote, homies, huh?
Hey,
right.
I
can
saw
tell
him
you
on my ballot. He was there, and so
Some
was
states, yeah.
yeah.
I can tell you exactly why. It's because, I mean, I've got a lot of people that that friends and acquaintances and people that I've talked to that have said that it's really just because of apathy. I mean, you really, like, nobody is in love with either of these two candidates. I mean, Kamala was, you got to think back in 2016, she tried for the presidency and it was a unmitigated disaster. And then she gets thrown into this with zero backing other than the fact that, the DNC decided that
Joe Biden.
It just, she had an association with Biden. So they just said, okay, you're, next man up kind of thing.
And Obama.
And, right. The people that didn't like Kamala didn't necessarily love Trump. And the people that didn't love Trump didn't necessarily love Kamala. And so many people that I've talked to, they're just like, what's the point? Like, if they both suck, why am I even voting?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it was an unfortunate lesser of two evils election. you know?
We've had that for a while, but so Royce, the 100 million difference is what you're saying?
120 million.
Yeah. So let's assume. Go ahead.
No, so basically, like, we had about 140 million vote, but then there's still about 120 that didn't vote.
Okay, so 80 million. So could that be 80 million people that are dead or shouldn't be on the rolls?
No, these are actually just above the age of 18. It's like most people, like I do know, basically, like, I'm in my late 40s. I literally went and took my uncle to vote because he's a senior citizen. I know several people who took their elderly parents and whatnot to vote just to make sure that and like, my uncle actually even called me. He's like, I need to vote. You need to come and get me. Right. Whereas I guess the current age groups, like millennial plus or 80s plus or Zennial plus, they're basically like, what's the point? Why are we voting?
Yeah, they don't get it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I said, I had to throw that in there because I always have to wear my conspiracy hat, so I had to throw that comment in there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I do believe that, not to that extent, but a lot of voting registers need to be updated with people who no longer exist.
And you can literally see it in the demographic of the polls. Like, for example, in older neighborhoods, like in East Memphis, there were lines around the corner, right? And the poll that my uncle was registered for, we walked in and we were like one of the only 3 people there. And I'm just like, holy, okay, that was definitely not expected. I was expecting to wait for 30, 40 minutes and go through a line, but there was no one there.
Unless, again, there could be more mail-in type. But yeah, there is definitely a discrepancy of 80 million. Yeah. But I think there was a record early voting again.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Royce. And we'll move on. We'll just say that's enough about, hey, that was weird. Daniel popped back in. That'll be fun to watch back, actually. It was weird.
Yeah, he's
like
hokey pokey.
Superhero. I don't hear but I do see. There, is that you? No? Oh, I think that was a curse word there. I'm pretty sure. I read lips. That was a curse word, I'm pretty sure.
That was definitely a curse word.
Oh,
there he goes. And then the mic will kick in a bit. So let's move on to we really should wait for Bitcoin Applehead for the next comment here, because he's saying once again Apple is back. He's doing that. Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. But this looks like Japanimation. Your lips are moving, and then you're not talking.
There's nothing I can do about that as long as it's the high quality audio.
Can we get some subtitles for this dub?
Right.
Did you just recite a Meghan Trainor song? I think you did.
No.
Dang, he doesn't know. He doesn't know newer songs.
I've
Your
never
lips are
heard it.
moving. Okay, just look up Meghan Trainor and your lips are moving. You'll see what I'm talking about. All right.
Ultra lie.
That's pretty much yes. That is the part of the song. Yes. All right. So Bitcoin Applehead said he wants to talk about Apple and that it is back. So what kind of information you have for us there, Daniel, about Apple?
Okay,
Lies.
so when
All
talking about
lies.
this, I'm not I'm not oh so concerned about Apple, but what this potentially means is kind of like a leading economic indicator of like
Okay.
consumer confidence, right? So
Okay.
Apple kind of releasing the iPhone 16 was kind of like a big deal for them in the sense that their phone sales weren't doing that well. People weren't upgrading their phones, and they were kind of not falling off a cliff, but starting to decline in phone sales because let's face it, I think it was since like the iPhone 12 or 13, nothing has really changed other than a little bit of aesthetics in the camera, right? But they sold a better than expected $46 billion worth of iPhones last quarter, which was up 6% from the year before, which was a signal that the iPhone 16 actually had pretty strong sales compared to when the 15 released. They didn't really do that much. But the rest of their earnings was kind of a mixed bag because their income wasn't that great compared to like how much back taxes they owed in Ireland, which was $10.2 billion, which was kind of crazy. And so I just wanted to get your guys' take on, if this is an indicator that, because this is even pre-election news, right? This has nothing to do with that. If consumers kind of have confidence again, where it kind of felt, soft before. I have a friend that works at a club and knows nothing about the economy. And she's like, yeah, I think the economy is bad. So which is like kind of funny because she knows nothing. And she's like, yeah, like my tips aren't as good. I don't think the economy is too good right now. So those are my two economic indicators for today, which are, diverging signals.
Yeah, the tip indicator. Well, as far as, in my opinion, of course, I don't bring facts. I bring opinions.
Not my birthday, never.
Yeah, that's right.
Why start now?
Next year, I'll start. So now I forgot what I was going to say. But as far as indicators go, I mean, the indicator to me is if it appeals right now to the upper income, it's going to do well. If it's the rest of us that are struggling from check to check, it's not going to do well. I guarantee you. You didn't say this, and I don't know what the answer is. But the upper line Apple is selling probably better at the lower. I think I maybe even heard that that the upper line Apple phones are selling better than the cheaper ones. So and that's been the case with everything. I mean, you look at one of your favorite Bitcoin Apple has Lululemon, and all of those that really. And what's funny is this ties to China because China loves the luxury products so much. So they're having a tough time selling luxury products in China, but in the U.S., we're like just buying it up left and right because we are creating more and more wealth with the wealth gap and with what's happening. And now with Trump in office, maybe that's going to be even worse because they say he's market friendly. Come on. I mean, he's the one that wants, I got to give this up. He's one of the wealth buddies. I mean, because he is one. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I could see the wealth gap getting wider. So there's my indicator is that if it's worth a lot of money and it looks like you're rich, then those people are going to buy that stuff. I'll move on to the banker, what your thoughts are, and then let Royce wrap up on this. And then we got one more subject. Go ahead,
Okay.
Josh.
Oh, no, I mean, no, I kind of agree with you on all of those points, really. It's not, I mean, it's going to be there is going to be a significant increase in the wealth disparity. Like that wealth gap is going to increase. He is very corporate friendly in a time where we are unfortunately suffering, especially it's just going to continue to squeeze the lower income out because he's going to be corporate friendly, corporate tax cuts to the same corporations that are currently gouging everything as far as pricing is concerned. And it's great. And like, I do think he's going to do a better job with the economy as a whole. I think there's going to be a lot of fallout from a lot of like lower income families and things like that, because it's just going to continue to squeeze them out.
Yeah, and you can forget home ownership, which we'll bring up next in the next segment. Royce, go ahead.
All right, now I'm going to go completely left, and that was meant as a pun.
But you're to the right of him right now. Go ahead.
All right.
On our screen.
All right. I'm not sure if you probably have already realized this, but just in case you haven't realized this, with the Apple iPhone 16 Pro, basically, it has Apple Intelligence. That Apple Intelligence is the same exact technology that was driving those cryptocurrency miners. So now you have the ability to technically mine cryptocurrency on your phone while you're not using your phone. Watch. In the near future, because the Tesla cars, guess what they do? They mine cryptocurrency while you're driving them. So Apple adding the same GPU technology to their phones, and you're going to see probably a surprising adoption of more coins potentially out there that can be mined, and that can be mined from the convenience of your home without using extra electricity.
Okay. All right. That's crazy concept. And will it affect the performance of your phone, or you have to be not using your phone when that's going on?
Well, no,
or-
it's built in. That's why they increased the voltage on it. That's why they added an entirely new section. Like the 15 doesn't have the capabilities, but the 16 is the first one that does have the processing power to actually execute those type of transactions.
Wow. And what year was it you said that's 100 years from now that Bitcoin
Basically,
is done
all
mined?
Bitcoin will be completely mined. I think they said 2140.
Okay. Yeah.
2140.
Yeah.
So right now, almost all of it's out there. I think there's still like about 1.2 million coins that can still be mined, but 19.75 million has already been mined.
Right.
So basically, it's going to be far before we won't see it. And if we do, then I want to know. My wife has cut out all sugar and all pleasure from my life, so we're good.
I just really hope you're not going to be one of these people that's going to use your iPhone as a miner, because every screenshot you send, that battery percentage is like this.
Actually, on the newer
That's
phone,
why it's like that, Josh.
Actually, on the 16,
he already is doing it.
Yes.
I've gotten the 16, and it has not fallen below 50%. I've been
that's impressive, actually, because I know
stuff running. It's been able to keep up.
Wow, yours is always down to that. Like you always have to carry around the extra pack. You got to carry around that extra pack all the time.
Every time I get a screenshot from him, it like makes me anxious.
Yes.
He's gonna die.
My girlfriend, anytime she sends me a screenshot of something, my only response is go charge your phone.
Yeah, right.
My girlfriend's is always at that little bitty percent. So. All right, Royce. So you like to take up for Apple, I guess, too. You know, I kind of like to talk against Apple because I am an Android user. But you have this thing about Apple AI and how it's going to really...
Yeah, I'm like, you guys do realize it's the same technology. It's the same technology. The cryptocurrency miners that are out there in the new phones, that same technology is now available on the phones. They're using it for AI, and I've even seen people repurpose their mining rigs to stand up ChatGPT servers, right? So think of a world where basically you're driving your car and it's earning you cryptocurrency, because Tesla is already doing that. Apple is basically positioning themselves to do that. I do know that I think Pi is a like the symbol Pi. Basically, is a cryptocurrency that you can currently mine on an Apple iPhone.
Okay.
So they're creating use cases and subtly slipping them in there to either basically make room for new cryptocurrencies to be developed, or maybe even Apple to get their own cryptocurrency. Wouldn't that be cool? Or Android too.
So to monetize AI, which is really having a hard time showing monetization, because they're going to charge you, obviously, to mine, and they'll make money off of that, I would assume.
Yep. And
yeah.
imagine Apple Pay paying out in Apple coins.
Yep. So we'll have all these crap coins, as they say, a million of them again after this big rise.
After this big
And
rise, hey, but that may
and Dogecoin, I don't know what it is lately, but obviously I think you
that
mentioned
started
that
up at
earlier.
18 cents recently.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. That
Yeah,
I bet it had. If anybody can pull it up real quick, I bet it went up after the election. So
it did.
uh,
I was
Okay.
getting notifications real time last night, and I'm
Gotcha.
going, "What's? Oh, okay, yeah,
I wish I hadn't.
it's almost 20 cents right now."
Yeah, I wish I hadn't sold my million shares of it, whatever it was I had way back when. If I'd only hung on. Dang. All right. So this is a good leeway, though. We were talking about the future economy and how the lower end is getting squeezed and the top 20% is going to expand.
Mhm.
So a good segue here is a guy named Warren Buffett and what he's done lately, and he's just selling everything and holding a lot of cash now. And so, gee, like Vanguard and BlackRock, there just might be a whole lot of homes out there to be bought and to rent out, so that the poor people in the country will have to rent from these rich guys like BlackRock. I mean, I could be the conspiracy theory, but when the housing crash happens, see, it was Daniel's fault. See that?
Hey,
Uh,
it's commercials doing it first. Have you seen the REIT?
no.
Hmm.
It took about 100-point bloodbath today.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. Why do you think?
Well, commercial real estate, things I've been seeing is commercial real estate is basically they've had over 259% increase in foreclosures in commercial real estate over the
Yep.
last month or so.
Yep. They're going to
So
finally start letting them happen is what's happening. They've been holding and holding and holding until this election's done, and now they're going to go, okay, we can let it happen now. It's past the election. Just that's just kind of the way I think. All right,
it's the
banker.
little things.
Obviously, this is going to be like the craziest recording we've ever had. Not just because it was my birthday, but all these weird noises, all these people popping in and out. I mean, I'm beginning to think that my birthday is hexed. I don't know. See, he's not even showing up at all, but on my screen, it's just showing a black somebody talking, just a black area and somebody talking.
Wait,
Go.
We
me?
see you. We see
Yes,
you.
you. Yeah. All right. So
Oh,
I'm gonna let Josh start talking while I try to get. I have to be a host and the director and the producer. While Josh is talking about what we're talking about with Warren Buffett and what possibly could happen in the housing industries, and that's his expertise. Um, I'm going to try to get Daniel back here.
well, yeah, I
Go
mean,
ahead,
like
Josh.
just specific to the housing industry. I mean, we knew that. I don't know if your comment about like BlackRock and everybody offering houses to cheap, for people to rent cheaply because considering what they bought at when they were kind of packaging all of that up during the pandemic as prices are just continually rising. I mean, they're not. A lot of them are not necessarily in the green on a good bit of their portfolio. A lot of them are actually upside down and are going to end up having to offload at some point. Even more to that point, like Royce said about commercials kind of at a tipping point. It is really getting to that point where they either need to invest more heavily into like repurposing things like that, like converting, commercial to residential, or just kind of offloading it, doing what the banks are holding a lot of those notes on a lot of those houses.
It could cause a lot of failures.
And it could cause a lot of failures. And banks are already, we've already had a banking crisis the past, couple of years, seems to rear its head every 2 or 3 years. We're coming up on another cycle of that. And you add on the whole real estate burden, it could be bad. And obviously we don't want that. But yeah, I mean, if you're talking about like Buffett specifically and his selling, Buffett is, his old adage, like be greedy when other people are fearful and fearful when other people are greedy. Well, he is now being fearful when other people are being greedy because of how
That's true. Yeah.
he looks at the intrinsic value of what stocks are. And you think about how many times we've come on this show and said stocks are overvalued. Like he has come out and said that he cannot find stocks that are good value. Everything is trading well above their intrinsic value. I think just to, let's circle back to iPhone. They're trading at 30 times their year-to-date earnings. Like that is the very definition of overvalued, and something that Buffett would have. I mean, that's the whole reason that he's kind of been getting rid of it. Same with Bank of America, and same with a lot of the other ones that he's offloaded. But there's a couple of things. So I don't know if it's necessarily time to like panic, because there are a couple of logical reasons for him to actually be selling. One, you got to think when you're investing, you want to invest for the long term, unless you're just like swing day or something like that, and you're just trying to get in and out real quick. But most traditional investors, you're looking at like 5 to 10 years. Buffett's 94 years old. Dude may not have 5 to 10 years.
Man.
I mean, just to be
Josh
honest,
is going to put that out there.
I'm just saying, he may not have that time, or he may be not thinking, because he can't think 5 to 10 years ahead, because 5 to 10 years ahead, he might not really be there. And I'm not trying to put that out into the cosmos, but I'm just saying it is a logical reason for him to be selling. And then you also throw in the fact that I think he's mentioned that they were talking about increasing like capital gains tax, and he's really just trying to take profit right now while he thinks everything is already overvalued. Just go ahead and take profit and then wait on the next opportunity to rise before he has to pay another 10, 20, 30% in capital gains tax.
Absolutely.
Unless the next presidency is friendly towards that and reverses.
Well, it is, but I mean, either way, there's still, even with Trump, there are still concerns about inflation and taxes on certain things, and especially, capital gains and investments and things like that are obviously an easy target and an easy way to recoup a lot of those funds, even though, Trump is very corporate friendly.
Yeah. Great. That's we're going to go ahead and try to move on to, by the way, we have you back, Daniel. We see your smile and everything, your Southern Cal looks. So we're going to go. I don't think he can hear me because he's not reacting at all.
I can hear you.
Oh, he smiled.
Oh, okay.
He smiled.
Oh, wow. It's so delayed, though. That's all right. We're going to keep pushing through. Royce, it's your turn anyway.
I unplugged everything.
Yeah. Royce, we're going to let you go ahead and take, because this is a good example of what you said, that all this could come crashing down, or it may or may not. So I think you have something for us for Crayons and Charts after the bell by Arbitrage. Royce Wells is going to talk about what? VIX.
The VIX.
All right.
The volatility for the S&P 500 index. So when the election basically transpired on yesterday, basically volatility went almost to nothing. And we got a sell signal. We got an X. So this was Tuesday at about 2 o'clock almost. And it fell through the floor. That means basically the market started to rise. And then we got those dollar signs. Let me turn off the 3D indicator so you can actually see the dollar signs down here. So basically volatility is bottoming out, but it's bottoming out on top of its weekly support. Anytime you have dollar signs on top of a support, that means there's a good chance that it's going to make a beeline and bounce, like a dead cat does, off of the floor and go up, which means I am expecting still high volatility going into next week, if not next month, and possibly even closing out the year. Right now, TradingView is even torn with their performance, where it's saying, hey, the last 3 months have been bad, but overall the year's still good. So it's about a half and half split, short-term versus long-term. Short-term, the VIX has not been happy, but long-term, it's saying that, yeah, we've definitely had more volatility over the last year than we normally have in any given year. And being that it is an election year, that is nothing to basically blink at. Looking at this on the 4-hour time frame, once again, because of those dollar signs, my top sideways and bottoms indicators, like, yeah, it's top heavy. Now we're basically, this is saying the beginning of a brand new bull market, while it's down here. But if it actually bounces from here, I want to see if the market goes back to sideways, closing out this week into next week. Looking at this guy on an even larger time frame, let's go up. And this is something to make note of. We are above that red line for the apocalypse band on our daily time frame, which means there is a lot of volatility that longer term, this next 4 years may be extremely volatile. So please keep your eye on your money, and you might find some very good opportunities to trade or some very good opportunities to just hide. Looking at this once again on the weekly volatility, this long candle is bouncing off of the RSI line for the apocalypse band on the weekly time frame. And once again, apocalypse band on the weekly time frame, that's basically us getting across that line could usher in at least another 5 to 10 years of volatility. So we want to see if that blue line will stay underneath that pink or purple. But if it makes it over, buckle up. You will definitely want to stick around to see what's happening next. Looking at this finally on our monthly time frame using our arbitrage band, it's seeing a little bit of the same. So we went from, hey, risk on at the beginning of October saying, hey, we're about to go into a major volatility spike. And then from that, it immediately made an about face, and now it's back in the neutral position. The thing is, the compass line, which is the blue line, is getting and approaching that black line, which is sitting at about 1908. If it is allowed to cross, if volatility literally erased the fact that basically if we have a knee-jerk reaction and it's able to pull back that $4 that it lost today, there is a good chance longer term we can see some tremendous volatility going into 2025. So that's all I got for now, but please watch your portfolio. There may definitely be more to come.
All right. So did I just trick you into to doing your absolutely full explanation of VIX when that was going to be the wager for next week? Did I just do that?
That's not the wager. That was credit.
I could have sworn I said it was going to be VIX. All right, I will say it's not. Then I thought I was being really tricky by saying that. Okay, all right. So anyway, that was after the bell. Crayons and charts with Royce Wells doing the VIX. So now I do have to come up with one because I did win. I'll bring up the scorecard real quick. Let everybody see it. Birthday boy wins, yay! Which means the apes win. And which means we're back within one again of the quantitudes. So it is 5-4, and Darren has 2, Josh has 2. I'm speaking in third person, and Daniel has 1, and Royce is still the king with 4 by himself. Of course, that's because he's got a friend named Pips. All right, so
I do math a lot.
That's right. So if you're not going to let me do VIX. I do want to do one of the like the S&P 500. I want to do something that is going to be relevant over the next week.
Okay. So which one do you want to do?
Yeah, we'll keep it with that. Let's just do the S&P 500.
S&P 500. So SPY.
No, you know what? Let's do SPY. Yeah, let's do SPY.
Or SPIDER. So SPX, USD, or SPY. So one is SPY, the S&P 500 versus the US dollar, and one is just the S&P 500.
What would you suggest? I'll play it that way without peeking.
Oh, without peeking? I'm like,
what's going to have the biggest channel? Whichever one has the biggest channel. I'll say. All
right, let's
look at both.
SPX, USD.
I mean, they'll be like the same thing,
right? They
feel like it would be.
Close.
SPY is just going to be easier to math.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just do SPY then. Let's do SPY.
Thank you for being the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All right. So the range on this guy is sick. All right. Let me go down to the 4-hour time frame to refine our range. Ooh. Okay.
Look at all those dollar signs.
And dollar signs, and you're above that support line, and you got all this things going green underneath. and top sideways and bottoms is going into a buy. Okay.
This is what 4 hour. This is 4 hour even.
This is a 4 hour chart, so that means we got about a $30 range, so about $750 a piece. So let's go from 570 to 600.
30 a piece. All right. Okay, cool. And we're talking about what'll happen just by Wednesday, not
By
January.
next
So,
Wednesday.
so there's a big difference.
Yep.
All right. So I will take. You said 750. Can we round it up to 8? Just to make it easier.
I mean, we can. Nothing stops us.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Nothing's going to stop us now. You knew I'd
For the
say
birthday boy, we got an extra 50
So-
cents. Now, if we lose by 50 cents, we would definitely be taking it back.
that. There's no takebacks. So that means I can do 592 to 584.
You just start 570. So 570, if we're knowing eights, right?
Yeah.
570,
No, we're doing 8s though, but it'll change.
78.
It'll
Yeah.
be 32 now instead of 30. No, 32 now instead of 30.
Yeah.
per channel.
But I'm just adding 8. So basically, it goes from
Yeah.
570, 578, 578 to 586, 586
Yeah, I got you.
to 594, and then
594.
594 to 602.
I got 586 to 594 then.
Okay.
And then the way you guys have played it, dirty, we got to have the other ape.
I
Okay.
gave you first pick last week, sir. I
You
did.
didn't you? And I still and I made it, and I picked the correct thing. Look at that! Imagine that. And I was victorious.
But we're playing dirty. Remember me. To
Okay, here's
never
the
offer
order
him that
then.
Again.
Here's the order then. Well, I will say, I will pay you back for that pick first. Although sometimes you say you don't want to go next
I
because
can
you're
go
going to give
next.
away something. Okay, so me, Royce, sorry, Daniel, Banker, and Daniel.
We got to do it different. I can't go last every time.
That's
He might be right about that, actually.
okay.
That's why his
So
points are
since
so low.
this- Okay, so
we'll let it sit
that-
this
Hey,
time.
Daniel,
I'll go with
I'll
that.
tag off.
No.
I'll go last. You can go
No.
next.
I mean, it is my birthday, but we can go. That's fine. Josh said kind of felt bad too, so since he feels bad, we'll have Daniel third and then Josh last. On my birthday too. So Royce, what channel are you taking?
I'm glad you asked. I will take 578 to 570.
Damn it.
Janet. 75, 78. Is that the bottom?
Remember
bottom?
HCA, folks. Remember HCA.
Yeah, that's the bottom. So you're expecting that crash to happen before.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's going to happen Monday, Tuesday. All right, so that's Royce.
It's going to be
We got
glorious.
578 to 586 open for Daniel, or 594
4 to 602.
602. Yeah.
I'll do the space above Royce.
There you go.
stick
Oh,
together.
so I have no chance. Okay, great.
Look at this. See, this is what they did to us. I could have picked you, Josh, but then they guilted me into this.
I mean, I knew exactly which one Royce is going to pick. Like, I'm sitting there staring.
You
staring.
really are good at this.
I'm sitting there staring at that 578 number. Like, please don't pick that. Please don't pick that.
All right, Josh, you're hoping for a continued rally through till next week.
Yeah.
It still could happen, though. It still
it
could.
could.
But,
Like, depending on how long it takes to.
I see a lot of dollar signs up there, though, right now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been the craziest one we've had as far as technical crap that's happened. And I still say it's Singapore's fault, but we never know. We'll
Or
never
the
know.
AI attacking us.
Yeah, the AI got his little monster. Did you hear that monster voice? That was crazy. That was about 5 minutes of it. That was scary. All right, guys, this has been After the Bell. This has been an eventful week. Maybe it'll still continue to be eventful through next week, and we'll have even more to talk about. Maybe that crash that is being hinted at
I'm not
maybe that
hinting
gap will
at
get filled
anything.
down.
I'm saying probability is definitely on my side. So do you want?
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna turn on.
He's trying to extend.
No, I'm not trying to extend. I'm just showing you. I'm just showing you where this chart is.
All right, I pulled you back up again.
Remember
It's probably
HCA. Remember HCA. When you got nowhere to go, where do you
Do
go?
you remember the Titans?
Yeah.
No, one thing, you better not hit 666 or I'm out of here.
You're evil. You're evil.
Yeah. Ooh. All right.
All right.
All right, guys. Everybody say goodbye and drink a shot for me tonight because I certainly will.
Happy
And,
birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
Appreciate
birthday.
that. See, I'm
Happy birthday,
still
sir.
asking for birthday wishes.
Right.
Thanks, guys. See you
All right.
later.
See ya.
Right.